Good morning and good afternoon, everybody. I'm Stuart. I'm from Acorn. I'm joined by Nancy and Nyanda and Dr. Greg, and we're going to start in just another minute as all of your colleagues assemble from all over the country. So thank you for being here. You can see my screen, right, Nancy? Great. If you would join the opportunity to share in the chat, the prompt on the screen is glad you're here. You can share your name, title, agency, and location in the chat. And I will do that right now as a model. So I got my name, my title, my agency, and my location in the chat. If you wouldn't mind doing that, that'd be wonderful. Then I can kind of know where you're from and what you do around the country, and we'll get started sharing. Thank you for joining us today. Morning, Shannon. Good morning, Julie. Julie, with a title like data manager, you are in the right place. I do want to honor everybody being on time. We have a ton of people who have registered for this event. And I know everybody is doing pre-service and juggling everything. So I do want to thank you for being here today. The goal of this pop-up is to share a little bit about the data literacy credential and how it might be a fit for you. In addition to these intros, if you just want to write a very, very quick thing in the chat, how'd you end up here today? That'll be our last little intro thing we do. My boss told me, I saw a thing from NHSA, I've been interested, volunteer, voluntold. We have all kinds of answers for this. So thanks, Stephanie. Stand-up call. Very cool. Email from NHSA. Voluntold, welcome. Happy to have you here. I'm going to make good use of your time. All right, this has been helpful for us. All right, well, let's get started. Here we go. We're Acorn Learning. We work with Head Start, early Head Start recipient programs all around the country. We're helpers. I'm Stuart. I'll be your main host today. We're joined by Nyanda Finley de Santos. She's a Head Start professional on the East Coast. She's going to introduce herself in a little bit. And she's a recent graduate of the Data Literacy Credential. We know that hearing from somebody who's taken it is better than hearing from the people who would be selling it and explaining it to you. So I'm going to explain a little bit, but we're mostly going to hear from her how this was for her and the benefits that have resulted in her role in her job. The main thing about a pop-up is all of you asking, what is this? How does it work? Is it a good fit for me? So we're going to be covering that in a moment. We're going to explain how it works, hear from her, and answer your questions. A couple comments I want to make before we just dive right into it. We know that right now, just in Head Start in general, but especially since January, that everybody is overloaded. We know that this is the kind of the starting of a program year for many of you. One of the concepts, one of the foundations of the data literacy credential is the way we talk about data, the way we think about the data, the way that we work with our colleagues at a managerial level and with our program staff. We want to make that easier. We want to make that more engaging. We want to make that more energizing. And that's how most people end up taking the courses. They say, I want that too. I want to have it feel different. Data always has challenges all the time, bandwidth, clarity, buy-in. So we built this course for every single Head Start manager or director. And here are 3 don'ts. You don't need to be a data expert. You don't need a ton of extra time. And you don't need to have taken any prior coursework or have any background to participate in the data literacy credential. If you have any questions while I'm sharing and Nyanda is sharing, drop it in the chat. Anything, you're probably asking for somebody else, and it's helpful for us to see what questions are being generated while we're sharing. Let's start with the very big question. What is the data literacy credential? So I want to be very clear and very specific, two things that we very much believe in around data and leadership in general. It's an 8-week course through the Academy at NHSA. And like I said, it's created specifically for any Head Start or Early Head Start manager, director, coordinator, content lead, supervisor. You watch short videos on your own time, and then you attend 2 one-hour Zoom meetings per week. That's called a flipped classroom format, so that when you're in the Zooms, we're not teaching and talking at you. You have very short 6, 8, 10-minute videos where you get the course content in very compelling, nice ways. And then when you come to the Zoom, we are working together in breakout rooms and exercises and collaborating. It's a very successful format. 600 plus managers from all around the country have enrolled and taken it over the last 5 years. And it's very much been improved on and made more efficient and crafted during that time to be the best possible use of time that we can make of it for you. These are the things that I would say that it's all about. And then I'm going to have Nyanda talk quite a little bit about her experience. The first thing is it's to learn and practice how to use helpful and positive data language in your program that makes things easier and clearer for everybody. And I want to highlight this last thing that staff and managers really appreciate. Gosh, I'm glad we have this language now. This has made everybody happier. It increases morale. That's a really big deal. If you've got any kind of griping, complaining, bandwidth, anything like that, this course gives you a chance to really work on that issue. Notice how I said that. You're going to fix everything. I didn't say that. It gives you a chance to work on that issue. And that's related to improving the data culture in your program and feeling a sense of accomplishment and workplace satisfaction as a leader of both the people in your program and the way that it works in general. I want you to really take a look at this screen before we share each bit of the program and have Nyanda talk a little bit. This doesn't say master all the performance standards in the PIR and exactly how data works. And this is not a boring course. This is not a technical course. This is a leadership course. And the 4 things on the screen are our desired outcomes. Learning and practice the language, increasing morale, increasing data culture, and feeling like you're a better leader. That's what we're aiming for. Now, whether or not that's true, you're about to find out. What it's like to take it, the very first thing is every week you log on to Canvas. It's an LMS, learning management system. You've got your password, you log in, it welcomes you, and you watch a small set of videos each week. You'll see the Canvas screenshot there. I froze my face in one of the videos I was leading. But you watch them and you complete them and you answer a couple questions. Nyanda, welcome. I'm going to have you introduce yourself. And then really the first prompt is tell us how you got into the class and how you picked it. And then we'll go to the video questions. Sound good?
Great. My name is Nyanda Finley de Santos. I'm the Director of Family and Community Engagement at Community Services for Children in Allentown, Pennsylvania. I've been in the Head Start world for 22 years and counting, and always focused on family and community engagement. I got into the class, let's see, I've known of the credentialing program for quite a few years. I've had peers in our program take the course over the years and always say, you should really take this. You're going to love it. You should take this. You love it. Because I'm a little bit of a data nerd anyway. And so I finally saw a hole in my schedule and thought, I should take this. I'd like to know what they're excited about. And for me, it was a wonderful experience.
Wonderful. Thank you for saying that. You volunteered, if I heard you correctly. You had some colleagues that were voluntold,
Right.
as I believe. So they were all invited in here. You signed up. We sent you all the welcome things. You thought, okay, here I start on my 8-week journey. And then you logged on the first time and thought, what have I got myself into? So walk us through a little bit of that and then the video experience in general.
Yeah, I honestly, I didn't really think that. I knew exactly what I was getting into and was really excited about it. Like I said, I enjoy data. One of the things that as you get into the class, there's a lot of excitement, at least for me as a learner, there was a lot of excitement. I did need to like use some of the handy tools that you had available for me. So in addition to the videos, there were times where it was just easier for me as a reader to read transcripts. And that was really helpful to have that available. And there were times where I wasn't at my desk and I needed to use my phone, and it was extremely helpful to be able to do my homework over the phone. I think there was at least one class where I actually was logged into the live class on my phone, because that's just what happens in life. So I appreciated the flexibility and I didn't find it boring. I liked being able to control my own pace of learning, which was great.
I'm really happy to hear that. That's kind of how we designed it. Dr. Greg is here, and we were the people that started building these videos, and we thought, okay, we don't want it to be traffic school where you're watching and answering questions, in that passive way. One of the things that we did at the end of each video, instead of going, tell us what the video said, and I want to make a point here for everybody listening. This is not school where you're expected to spit back what we just taught you in the video. Most of the questions are, how does this fit with your program? And what do you think about this? Can you share a little bit about what that experience was like for you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a reflective person by nature, but it really helped me hone in on where are the challenges that my program faces and where are the strengths that we have and what I'd like to do. I get really excited about the opportunities. And so the assignments really helped me to get specific about where are the areas that I want to focus some energy this year. And doing that, working, throughout the last portion of the program on our final project with a coworker was really helpful for me. We have a plan and feel really excited about being able to share some of the things that we learned with our team.
That sounds wonderful. The second part of the course are these Zooms. So in the middle of your working day, twice per week for an hour, you join us. It looks very much like this, except everybody has their camera on, and we work together as a group. Can you share a little bit about what those 16 Zooms were like for you over the course of the.
Yeah, so just like most online experiences, the first couple were a little bit awkward because we didn't know each other yet and we were kind of like feeling things out. But after that, the conversations became really rich, and Stuart and Greg have a lot of insights that they share throughout the program, not just the curriculum, but kind of how they've seen it or worked with it with data and different programs, which is really helpful. And for me, one of the best parts of having the live cohort was really hearing from other programs what they're doing or not doing with data, kind of being able to gauge where are we in this process really, and what are some of the things that other folks are doing that we might want to adopt. And it was a really rich part of the experience. And I looked forward to it. I was often late because that's just who I am. But nobody made me feel bad about that. We just got right into it, and that was great.
I'm happy to hear that. We talk a little bit about Acorn, about the reality of working in a Head Start program, and how I like to describe it as double siloed. So you're FCE at your agency, and like that's the FCE silo, and you do your FCE things in there, and the ERC people do the ERC things, the education people do the education thing, and then most Head Starts function on an island, their own Head Start. So getting to break both those silos down, showing up at a Zoom, having a whole bunch of other Head Start people from around the country, and then your FCE friends or your ERC friends can be really, really energizing to say, what do you guys do about this? Or how do you handle this? Or how are you planning on taking back some of the content from the Zoom? So we hear continually how that's one of the most favorite parts of the course, how they look forward to it. And then there are new friendships all around the country. You've got your new friends. So did that describe your experience a little bit? Because we've heard that quite a bit when it comes to the Zooms and the experience during and then after.
Absolutely. It's been really, there were actually a number of people that I connected with outside of the class, during and after, who just said, you said something that I wanted to ask some questions about. And so we connected over Teams and were able to kind of learn a little bit more about each other's programs, which is a great side benefit.
I'm thrilled to hear that. It's almost, a lot of times we've almost heard it's like the main benefit. The last part of it is, so you watch the videos, you go to the Zooms, that's the majority of it. There is the opportunity slash final expectation of the course to create a training. And we have a very nice skeleton for it, a template, so it doesn't take an enormous cognitive, it's not an exam, it's just what are you taking back from the course to your program? And that's been one of the most exciting things for us to see the trainings and the ideas that all of you generate to say, this is what I want to do with this course material. So really the expectation is make a training, tell us who it's for. My leadership team, everybody at pre-service, my coaches, my family advocates, and take some of the content and say, I want to bring it alive for my agency. So Nyanda, will you share a little bit about what you've done with the coursework and how it's benefited your people?
Yeah, so in my direct department, in the Family and Community Engagement Department, my partner and I developed a two-part training on data workflow that is really going to be given actually Thursday of this week for part one, and then September will be part two. And we're really excited about it. It's just helping them understand the why behind their work a little bit deeper, and also being able to make the connections between what they're doing in a home visit with families and what their manager does with the data, what I'm going to do with the data, what the Office of Head Start wants the data for, so that they really have that full circle. And then how can we share that data with families? How is it beneficial? And so that's really been an important part of the project piece that we're doing. The other kind of thing that happened outside of my coursework was I used what I learned to really work with managers across the departments and really introduce them to some of these concepts. We're working on a larger project around workflow, which I'm not responsible for, but I'm a part of. And I can see them feeling more empowered and feeling like they have more control of what are we doing and why. And one of the exciting things is we've spent a lot of time this summer working on what can we streamline. Through this conversation about data workflow and understanding the purpose of the data and the quality versus compliance, we were able to determine that we were doing a lot of things as a program that maybe we don't need to do anymore. And we need to really think about what is the story we're trying to tell around our Head Start program and the services we provide, and what actions actually get us there. So that was really exciting work. And I love that we were able to bring our whole management team into that.
I hope you were listening carefully because she just made three terrific points in that story. One of my jobs in the Zoom is to listen. We say, go ahead and share, and people unmute, and they share all the time. And my main job as a leader and a facilitator is the amplifier. So I want to amplify what Nyanda just added. Number one, the why. The why is we have to. The Head Start performance standards and the PIR and the FA1, the FA2, and the grant compliance. Everybody knows that why, I would imagine. But I want you to really listen to how she characterized the why, saying the why is much broader than that we have to. There are all kinds of opportunities in the why. What does this data tell us? How can we use it to improve? What does it mean for our children and families? So those are some of the things that you get from the course, is that broader why language. The second thing is she used the term workflow, and that's the data collection and coding and entry and analysis and reporting. And you'll learn all those stages. You already know them, you do them every day. But the labels and the breaking down into steps and then unpacking everything you do for everybody's clarity and saying, what can we make easier? What can we make clearer? That's what she's referring to there. And then number three was, we're all doing it. I'm not on my own island trying to fix my FCE thing. We're all working together. It feels good, right? And it feels good to all be stoked about data, motivated about data. And I can hear that as you share it going, this is so much better now. So I really want to amplify what you said, because there were three big themes in there that I think are really important to the course. So we ask everybody at the end, describe this course in exactly 3 words. And you're seeing one of our mechanisms in the course. You can click and type on the screen. It's the annotate tool in Zoom. So we have everybody do this. And Nancy, who's a support in the course here, she created this from what everybody said. So Nyanda, take a good look at everybody's exact 3 words. Do any of these, and this was on the last day, by the way, so do any of these resonate with you personally based upon your experience? It's kind of like a pop quiz answer opportunity here.
Yeah, I mean, all of them really, but definitely worth it sticks out to me because it was definitely worth it. Good things take work. So were there moments of lots of work? Absolutely, because we never stop doing what we do every day. But it was well worth it because the benefits make things easier. Like understanding data and how it can help your program tell its story inevitably is going to make things easier. And we're able to do things more efficiently and do things with more purpose and meaning because we all understand the big picture. And that's really exciting for me. There's really nothing on here that I wouldn't say is real. The storytelling aspect was really important. I've been able to start working with my team on how are we documenting our CQIs, our continuous quality improvement. We do it all the time. We're always in a cycle of fixing, reassessing, making little changes, but we never really documented it in any way that we could help tell that story. And so that's something that I'm really excited about because I think that's part of the work that happens that never gets counted or measured. And it's really important to do that because that's where so much of the meaning of the work fits in.
I think you said that beautifully. And I would again amplify to say the opportunity you have as a leader is always such a robust one because you're all in charge of so many things. We know how Head Start works. It's busy enough as is. The opportunity of a leader to say, I'd like to improve that. I'd like to motivate people. I'd like to make this better. I'd like to instigate change. That's always in front of us. And it's so hard to fit that in for time and bandwidth and energy, and a little scary and a little lonely. And this is a very empowering course. And I think that's what you just described is you'll see the words on the screen: hard, rewarding, clear, helpful, reassuring, rewarding. People say, like, I'm glad I took the time to do this. One thing we hear is I feel proud. Feel proud of myself that I took the course and things are different now. These were the four things I said, and this is our last sharing slide. Then I'll talk a little bit about the question in the chat. And I'd really like it if anybody had any questions for Nyanda, and they could be raw questions. Was it hard? Anything like this is your chance to ask them. You're probably asking for somebody else. But these are the four things I said at the starting. Learn and practice how to use that new clear language, increase people's morale. That could be almost like a magic trick. Improve the data culture in your program, and then feeling that sense of accomplishment. So really, this is what we're saying happens, and having a testimonial from you. You've been giving them along the way, but wrapping up, is there anything on here, one or more, that did you like to talk to about how the course influenced you in your program?
And I just think overall, the more we understand the purpose of our work and we feel connected, it's not, the silos are so traditional, but that's not really how Head Start is designed. It's meant to be holistic. It's always been holistic and two-generational or multi-generational. And I think the more we understand each other's data and share information openly across programs, not just in our own programs, the more we can really live into that goal. And that's kind of what I think that's what all Head Start people are here for. We want to do the program justice and make sure that children and families are thriving. And I think the more we understand the data culture at our organization and can support everybody in that journey, including families, the more beneficial we're able to, or the more likely we are to actually lean into our values as an organization and as a Head Start program and be able to actually have an end product that meets our expectations.
I feel like if I was a Head Start parent, I would want to send my child to your program because that complete testimony of what you do and why you do it is really compelling. It's like, I want to feel good about my job. I want to feel good about my work. There are a lot of people who come into our courses from different parts. They're a little demoralized. They're a little burned out. They were told to attend by their boss. They volunteered happily. So I want to make the point that everybody's welcome, and we make a really, really nice community together for those 8 weeks. People make friends. We work hard. We lift each other up. We reassure each other. You can do this. I would even go as far to say there's a mild therapeutic component to being in the data literacy credential, especially right now in Head Start. Nancy's nodding because she knows this. On that note, I will say that Acorn is incredibly supportive of the reality of Head Start. And one of the things that we do is we've got a structure. This is when you need to watch the videos and come to the class and do the work. We've also got flexibility. So if something happens, I have to go be a family advocate and cover a caseload for a week. I have to go to the classroom. We've got you. We've gotten a lot of people, 600 plus Head Start people through this course, through a variety of reassurance and patience and flexibility. So I do want to say that if you have bandwidth or concern issues, we will get everybody through. Some of that, thank you, Nyanda, very much. Some of the housekeeping pieces here. We run 3 cohorts a year, fall, winter, and spring. The fall cohort starts in September. I will say that there's never a good time to take this. September is the busy and the classrooms and the data and everything. January, we're doing the self-assessment, we're doing this. It's always something. So all 3 of this next school year's cohorts are open, fall, winter, and spring. If you're not an NHSA member, the price tag is pretty high. If you're an NHSA member, they've got a nice value slot here for the 8 weeks. Everything is open on the Academy website at the Academy at NHSA. Nancy will drop the link in the chat. That's basically the time. We can also put the dates in. There's a January start date and a March or April start date. So there's always a chance to start your 8 weeks. Chelsea has a question in the chat, and then I'll make my way back to Tina's question. And Chelsea's asking a question that's really going to benefit everybody. Is there something that is for those who are more entry level when it comes to data, or will it help us level up if we feel like we're already established with our data? We always have room to grow, but is this super entry level works for all levels? I'm going to answer first, and then Nyanda, I really want you to take a shot at this question because I've got my line. In our course, we'll have somebody who was just hired for Head Start, several, or they've just been promoted into manager. And we'll have people like Nyanda who've been doing it for 22 years. So the real question is, how can you have a course that's designed for everybody? Is this a good environment? And I'm going to very bravely say we designed it for every single person because each piece of it, if you have just started, they're foundational pieces. Each piece of it, if you've been doing it for 20 years, are going to supercharge your existing things and how you can improve them and how you can do it. And the conversations that are had between people are really rich. That's my rift answer. Nyanda, do you want to take a shot at that? Because I think it's such a good question. Is like, how can it fit everybody?
Well, I think, I would have liked to have had the course 22 years ago. It would have made a lot of things easier along the way. I did take the data basics course that's offered, and that's a great course as well. It's a great start. And my whole team is taking that right now because I was excited about data and I wanted to make sure that I wasn't just doing it on my own. Everybody's coming along for the ride. But I think this course gives you the language. And as a Head Start person, I have often said things like, I'm not a numbers person. Well, data isn't just numbers. Data is information and context, and we all have that. And so for me, if I had had this framework 22 years ago, I'd probably be the CEO. Like, it really was extremely beneficial. And I think if I was new, I would want to take it, even if it's hard. Hard things are worthwhile.
I'm really happy to hear you say that. And you don't know how to fit what's being presented and talked about until you know. So as a newer person, you'll say, I'm glad I have this. This is really valuable training. As a veteran person, you'll be able to look and go, gosh, I know right where to plug this. I know right where to fit this. I guess that's the way I really want to characterize it. Thank you for that question, Chelsea. You can give me either a thumbs up or say I didn't unpack it all the way, but I want to know if we covered that to your satisfaction. Great. Tina, scrolling up the chat, she said Acorn offers several different data courses. That's true. How do I know which one to start if I'm brand new to monitoring and data collecting? I'm going to give you an answer that's probably deeply unsatisfying. They're all for you. Now, the data literacy credential, as we just covered, is a robust professional development experience. In the recently revised program performance standards, they did this last year, they're challenging every single Head Start program to provide much more robust and structured professional development for their managers and leaders. That's what the DLC is. That's how we partnered with the Academy at NHSA to offer it. We have a very short primer experience called Data Camp. Greg just dropped it in the chat. Data Camp is 2 days, 3 hours, and we offer it several times during the year. If you were sitting here going, I'm not sure I'm ready to jump into 8 weeks of coursework, I would say, jump, listen to Nyanda. It's wonderful. We're waiting for you. If you're saying, I'd just like to see in 2 days and 3 hours, what this is like and what some of the things are, then data camp is a really excellent opportunity to do that. It's a very, very short primer. I will let you know that it really is designed to kind of agitate everybody. And what that really means is, ooh, I want to learn more about that. And we've got a longer course for it. But it's a really good way to dip your toe into some of the language and the stories behind why we talk about data in this way and some of the hopes and dreams we can have to have it feel better in our programs. Tina, that was an excellent question. Let me know if I did okay on my answer. There's the data camp, which is the 2 days and things. We have the manager skills program. We've got a data analyst certificate. Greg, you want to unmute and give 30 seconds on that before we wrap everybody up here?
Yes, and also there's a pop-up for the data analyst certificate Thursday. And the data analyst certificate, this is the new 2025 version, so it has all the latest improvements based on suggestions from past learners. So what I would say is the data analyst certificate is a more technical class. We have a variety of them. On Thursday, we're also releasing learning paths. So there's a technical learning path, which includes the data camp and the data literacy credential, but then the visualizing Head Start data that's coming in September, and the data analyst certificate, which is taking that basic visualization and learning how to transform that into reusable templates and how to organize and manage data teams around data projects. So there is a scaffold, and we're going to actually have a series of learning paths. So the sort of data nerd learning path, where you want to learn how to do more technical stuff, but we'll also have for the non-data nerd people who want to learn how to apply these things, what's the kind of order to come in. And it starts with data camp as the most straightforward way. Then there's this course, the data literacy credential, which gives you a real strong foundation. You can take the data literacy credential without data camp, but if you're not really sure, the data camp gives you a really good idea of kind of what you're getting into with the larger course. So data camp is a great entry point for anybody who works in Head Start, the data literacy credential for anybody who's a manager and director. We have information on these that we're putting up as we do the pop-ups. We're putting the recordings up on our YouTube channel. So check out our YouTube channel. You can see a lot of pieces in there. There's actually most of a retired course that we don't offer anymore that has recordings in there. So you can, if you want to see what you're getting into, you can watch some of those recordings. It gives you a good feel for it.
Thanks, Greg. That's very, very helpful. Thank you, everybody, for attending this. I know you're all very busy with pre-service. So is Nyanda. They're in the middle of it right now. Thank you so much for volunteering your time today. And what I will tell you is, Nancy, you could drop the support email in there. If you'd like to ask questions, and also if you'd like to hop on a Zoom, just a private Zoom with any of our teaching team here, faculty support people, we're happy to do that. We talk to bosses a lot. This is why it's a good investment. We answer all the nervous questions you don't want to ask out loud. We can share a little bit of the course, but it is an investment of time. It's very, very worth it. And kudos to each of you for taking time to raise your eyebrow. I'm gonna try to do that right now. Show up at this event and say, I want to learn more about this. That's a feather in your cap to say, I'm interested in my own professional development. So if you need any support from us in registering, signing up, answering questions, convincing the boss, anything, we are here for that. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your busy, busy week serving children and families. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Nyanda. And the email, the support email, the follow-up email is coming from Nancy. If you registered, you'll get a plethora of riches. Thanks, everybody. Take care. Have a good week.